Let me like this. Good evening, Cubes of the Cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and we are rolling in fashionably late because, damn it, we were just having a fun talk backstage, and that's just how it goes sometimes. We're worth it.
Sports doing well tonight. With me this evening, right below me, we got my buddy Nick from Nick's Kix and Comix.
Yo, oh, that's a nice shirt.
I'm rocking it all day, baby.
Also has some fire mystery boxes on sale now, guys. So go over to his Instagram and check out his mystery boxes. His links are in the description below.
Thank you.
And of course, our guest of honor tonight, and we'll introduce him, and then we'll get to the chat and say hello.
Honor is such a strong word.
Is Tylox the Mighty.
What's up? What's up, everybody?
We've chosen to suffer him tonight. No.
Oh my God.
Oh, Tyler, how are you, sir?
Doing good, and enjoying my birthday weekend.
Nice. How old are you?
37.
You young ass motherfucker.
Oh my
I'm
God.
Be 52 this summer.
Are you kidding me? I feel like I'm 57.
No, wait. You wait, bro. You wait.
Yeah.
It gets worse. You tell me it gets worse than this?
Oh, no, it's not that. It's the aches and pains of everything you did when you were younger that get worse than that. Everything that comes back to haunt you. When they told you those things would come back to haunt you, they were not lying.
I was like, how are you going to tell me that getting hit in the knee with a brick when I was 9 could possibly make my knee hurt now? I mean, the scar is gone.
I'm just saying, wait, you'll find out.
And you think you got nice hair now.
And then like something silly happens, like it rains, and I'm just like, why does my knee hurt so bad?
Wait till that nice hair starts growing out of your ears.
Oh. That's happening already. I'm Tylox the groomed.
Let's say hello to our chat tonight. Graphic Man, how are you, sir? All right, Sith, welcome in, buddy. I got to catch up on your videos for sure.
Oh, show.
Chop and Drop, how are you, sir? Good evening.
What's up,
Brian,
Chop?
Station.
What's up, Brian?
And we got Geek Out with Roscoe. Roscoe, how are you, sir?
My beanbag bro.
Right. And we got Naman. Hello, Naman. How are you, buddy?
What's up?
One of my favorite guys in the community.
Oh, definitely. Psychedelic Comics. Good evening, sir. All right, guys. So let's get into it. So, Tyler, as I like to do with every episode, we always know that the people in the chat are going to know you and they're going to know us. But what we need you to do is introduce yourself and your channel for the people that watch in the rewind who are just getting to know who you are. So give us a little bit about yourself and your channel.
My name is Tylox the Mighty on YouTube. It started out many moons ago. I had a YouTube channel where I literally just showed comic books that I bought because I seen people doing it on YouTube. They were showing books. And I was learning about like collecting comic books. I just started doing it, and I started learning about all these different storylines and stuff, and all these books that I needed to get now before you regretted not getting them later. Now I do. And and so I started learning about all this stuff, and I found people on YouTube who collect comics, and I would just learn what they said, and I would just learn that way. And so I started putting my stuff up too and showing books that I had gotten. And that's basically where it started. It was finding people who collected comics, who knew anything. So I could leech knowledge off of them, but B, at the same time, find other people to talk to about comics. And yeah, that's pretty much what it started as. And now it's starting to be interviews and just pretty much anything else I feel like doing. Like there's real no structure to it. I just kind of do things and hope people like them.
Oh, well, so like the rest of us, right? You know what you like, you get on there and you hope it connects with somebody else. Now, what originally got you into collecting? How long have you been into comics, or have you been in and out of comics your whole life, or is it something that you discovered when you were older?
When I was a kid, it was like late 80s. So you had like the Holy Trinity. You had like Transformers, Turtles, and G.I. Joe. And that He-Man, like everything was like kids had one of those four things, and usually in abundance. And everything was just around. Like sports cards were around. People just bought them and had them and kept their favorite players and traded away the ones they didn't want. Comic books, we bought them at gas stations. I think there was one gas station that had a spinner rack, and like you would buy books off of that.
Dude, I miss that. I miss just buying random things off spinner racks. I don't know why.
I told TM Nerdy the first time I ever saw Spawn #1, a kid was reading it, laying on his bed, and I was playing his like Super Nintendo. I was playing like Zelda or something.
And the kid woke up with a black eye and no Spawn comic.
And he threw it. He threw it next to me at the floor, and he like threw it on the floor, and he was like, "Here, you got to read this. This is crazy." And like he was like, "You guys threw it around?" I was like, "Yeah, we threw books around. Like you would read a book and be like, this is really good." And you would just give it to your friend. And like now it would be,
Gatsby, yeah.
Yeah. And you guys didn't care. Like you didn't care about it was, you didn't care about what it would cost or like be worth down the road. You just like, here, you got to read this. This is crazy. When do you want it back? Well, you just give it back to me whenever. Like, so, everything was always just around. Like, you had a big pop culture explosion when I was a kid where it was TV shows from comic books and then, cards and, sports and stuff like that was really big in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. So.
Now, do you collect cards as well, or just comics?
Yeah, I've recently started getting back into cards, and I've gotten way too deep into it. Like, it's that one holds 3,200.
Oh. Yeah. I just started watching card channels because there's a lot of good card people out there and fun people to watch. But as for as many variations as there are comics, the cards are crazy.
Even worse.
Yeah.
And all the different brands and
I've started doing that too. I've started watching a lot of there's a card community just like there's a comic community, and people do the same thing. They send each other free packages like AOKs and stuff.
Yeah, they just call them racks instead of AOKs.
Yeah, they do. Instead of doing like mystery boxes per se, they'll do breaks. So you pay like $10 per team or something like that, and anything that they pull out of that session of opening up boxes, if you pick that team, then it goes to you, which could, in theory, be really, really beneficial to you, or it could be like, eh.
So let me ask you, in a guy who's not into cards now, what's the way to do it? Is that the way to do it? To watch break?
There's a few ways that I've seen people do it. Some people collect they have a PC collection, which is usually like a local team that they like or players that they like. And every card they get of that team or those players, they keep it. I do it that way. There are some people who do it just for like investment, where you just buy graded cards, you buy them already slabbed, and then you just hold them for value and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, there's not enough money in my.
I mean, there's like a few different ways you can. I mean, it's like comics too. You can do it any way you want, I guess. Any way that feels right to you. But I mean, it all depends on what you want to get out of it. If you want to just collect for value and for later on down the road, then there's a way to do that. If you want to collect just for fun, just because you like opening packs. Some people just like opening packages.
Yeah. So which is gonna win? Oh, look at that beautiful thing.
Look at him.
Now I'm talking about your mullet. Hey, I'm a bald guy. Of course, I'm looking at the back of your head. Do you see one hobby winning out over the other, or do they coexist for a while?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I have more access to cards than I do comics because I can literally drive like a few blocks over and buy cards. Whereas my comics I do through the mail, through a service I use called Atomic Empire, based out of Durham, North Carolina. They started out as an online thing, and then they were like, they made enough money online to buy a brick and mortar store, and so they do that at an actual location now too.
So is Uncanny Swag trolling you, or do you really like Patrick Waugh, or is he one of your?
I'm not big into hockey, so I has no idea what he speaks of.
Okay, so Patrick Waugh is a famous goaltender. Who's
well, I know who he is.
Okay, let's say he played with the Montreal Canadiens, and he had a hissy fit.
He's trolling somebody. He's trolling somebody in the chat.
Oh, okay, because then he went over to Colorado, won the cup the first year with Colorado, and that put a little stink on the Habs' face. But good stuff. Rob, how you doing this evening, sir?
Rob hops in during the card part. Rob's a very big card guy.
So, yeah, I heard you love Pokemon cards. It's like one of your favorite things to collect.
Rob's so quiet.
Good and handy.
Welcome.
It's been a day, but I'm here for you now. Sorry.
Roscoe, I might have to make you a mod so you can block the devil's hate. We all know Marty Brodeur is the best goalie that ever was, and the stats prove it. Las Cruces, how you doing, sir? Eddie, how are you? Uncanny Swag, how are you?
The only hockey I ever got into was when Gretzky was on the Rangers.
How do you have a mullet and you're not into hockey?
I have no idea. Like, I mean, I would enjoy hockey. We have a hockey team around here. We have a minor league team in South Carolina, like 30, 45 minutes away. And then we have a major league team in North Carolina. But I mean, it's not like I don't like, if my friends are like, you want to go to a hockey game? I'm like, yeah. We're just going to watch. We're just going to watch players fight. That's all we're going for is to drink beer and scream at people while they fight. That's what we're doing.
That'll work. There you go. Sith is saying you're Yarmer Yager with that haircut. So, who is your favorite? What's the hero or heroic team that got you into comics that caught your eye and got you reading?
Spider-Man. Yeah, when I was a young man, the Spider-Man cartoon came out. I loved Spider-Man comics as a kid. Anyway, I bought lots of Spider-Man. To me, he seemed more relatable to normal people. Like, Superman. At the end of every Superman comic seemed to be he won. Like there was never a thing where he won and he lost a whole bunch. Maybe a few here and there, but it didn't seem like he lost like a whole bunch until later on down the road. Like now that's like a thing where he's always losing his powers, losing somebody who's close to him.
Well, Superman lives in a world where people are so dumb they can't tell a guy who a guy is as soon as he puts glasses on. So they're not populated by a lot of intelligence there.
So yeah, I like Batman too, but he seemed to rely a lot on gadgets, and yeah, some horrible stuff happened to him too. But like for some reason, Spider-Man just really stuck out, and then that and the X-Men cartoon that came out in the early '90s. Every kid I knew watched the cartoon. We bought the comics. We bought those little Marvel on-card action figures, but we took them out of the package and destroyed them, played with them like crazy.
So you grew up with the '90s Spider-Man cartoon?
Yes, yeah. Well,
Sins of the Father and all those others.
In the early '90s, this thing started called Cartoon Network. You can get it, and it would play older stuff. So you would watch the Justice League cartoons from back in the day, and Herculoids, and the old Spider-Man and stuff like that. And then you would get the new stuff too. So
when you say old Spider-Man, do you mean the 80s or the 60s?
The 80s. I remember the 80s one. That's the one with Spider-Woman was on it as well.
And that was just her own one season, and Spider-Man guest starred on 2 episodes.
Yeah, and then he had a group with him. He had was him,
Spider-Man and his amazing friends with Firestar and Ice.
That's the 80s, yeah.
That's the 80s one. Okay.
Yeah. The 60s is the one that has the ultimate theme song of all Spider-Man theme songs ever. But crappy animation.
Right?
Reused.
It was always the one swing.
It's often reused animation.
Or shooting the webs, and what are they attaching to? They're going straight up in the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just swinging into nothing.
Right.
Well, since we're in that era, there were a few other cartoons too, weren't there? Wasn't there a Submariner?
There was
There
a Silver Surfer cartoon back in the day.
For a while.
I remember there was a Fantastic Four cartoon as well.
There was a couple. They had one with Herbie the robot instead of Johnny Storm because they couldn't. They were afraid kids would catch themselves on fire to be Johnny Storm.
I mean,
Come on now, Tylox. Where you're from, think about it. Think about it. You know, you'd be out there.
I'm with Eddie here. 80s old, right, Eddie?
Yeah.
I grew up. 80s was my prime time.
For sure.
Come on, Tylox.
You know, way back in the dinosaur times of the 80s, back before there were CDs.
Everybody, thanks for the show tonight. Tylox was great. Have a good one.
His mullet can stay, but he's got to go. All right, so Tylox, we were having a fun conversation before we started the show. That you feel that you are now locked into that mullet and you can't change it. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, like I mean, I was just, you know, I always do crazy things with my hair. I always have. You know, every couple of years I'll do a mohawk. Sometimes it'll not be long at all. Sometimes it'll be 6 inches. Like, I mean, it just depends. I've always done crazy stuff with my hair. You know, I got to change it up every once in a while. You know, can't do just the same old haircut all the time. So I decided to do a mullet, and then I did it, and now it's become a thing. And now I really don't feel like I have to, I'm really glad I'm not tall, or else people be walking up and asking me if I was like Kevin Nash or something like that. But it's just like people are like, "Wow, you're really rocking that thing." And it like fits you. That's the worst part, is that it fits. Like if I had this thing and it looked ridiculous, but it doesn't. It's like, you know what? On you, it doesn't look that bad.
Hey, well, can I give you some advice in trying to break out of that mullet or that stereotype?
What is that?
Don't use your name as Tylox the Mighty Mullet. Step 1.
But see, now it's my brand. Now it's the thing. Like, I need to just get a silhouette of the mullet.
Tylox the Mighty Perm. Wait.
There you go.
Right. Oh, that is good. So I want to also talk to you because I found out, and you said you were posting it on IG as well, that you have started engaging in stand-up comedy.
Yes, I have done one open mic night for not, you know, a few jokes here and there in between people doing other things. So, you know, that's something I wanted to try. I was like, you know, I'm generally a funny person anyway. I'm not shy about being on stage because before I was in a band, and if you did what I did on stage in front of people, and it didn't make you feel weird, then stage fright's not a thing you have to worry about. So
we're gonna have to talk about that after too.
Yeah. Before he gets on to the next sentence, you got to expand on that.
Are you and Kyle doing a stage show together?
A few years ago, I was in a black and death metal band. We jumped back and forth between playing black metal and death metal because we like both forms of music, so we just jumped back and forth. So, and I was the vocalist. So there is footage of me on YouTube, like screaming bloody murder. We opened up for Doyle from the Misfits, his solo band. We opened up for him. That was incredible. Met lots of really incredible smaller bands coming through on tours, you know, and bigger bands that we've gone to see that we ended up just hanging out with. Because one of the great things about being a local musician is if it's at a place that you play all the time, you can literally just walk backstage. Because everybody's used to seeing you backstage anyway. They're used to seeing you there all the time. So you just kind of walk backstage and you just see who's there and you just start hanging out with people.
Nice.
So now, people be like, "Are you in one of the bands that's opening up?" No, I just come here a lot. And they're like,
just part of the scenery.
Yeah. I'm in a band and we play here a lot. So like me coming like.
Now I know what death metal is. I've never heard of black metal. Can you tell me what that is? You're not just playing in the dark, right?
Black metal is a form of music invented by a band called Venom in 1980, and they're from England, and it's all songs about the occult. There's lots of face paint. It's like Kiss, but not really. They play lots of occult stuff and lots of satanic references and stuff like that. But the music is very weird because these guys literally. It was weird because it went from a band that had a record deal, that had production, that did it like in a studio, to groups of teenagers who were like, I don't care what it sounds like, just plug me into it, and I'm just going to play the song. And if it sounds like butt, then it sounds like butt.
So
I don't care. And then but it still actually sounded good because they were relying on the riffs that they wrote to propel the song versus the sound quality of how it sounded. So
we got a few comments here you can address. So Taylor Winder says, to be fair, Tylox, you kind of look like every sound guy ever.
Yeah, actually, I do. I know.
And DJ Links wants to know if what you're talking about is like Gwar.
Gwar is kind of more like a death metal kind of thing now. Originally, when Gwar started out, they were a punk band, and they didn't sound anything like they do now. But now they sound more like a death metal band. But I have seen Gwar live. That was incredible. Don't wear clothes that you care about to a Gwar concert. You will regret it because they will get ruined.
Now,
but
everything you listen to
meet great people.
Can't be death metal and black metal and hard metal. What's your embarrassing really music that you listen to?
Yeah, like we and Gwar never got locked into a genre. We just play whatever we liked.
So what's the palate cleanse then? What's the opposite that you listen to?
Oh God, I love Michael Jackson and Prince and 90s country. Oh God, George Strait, Garth Brooks, Brooks and Dunn. Yeah, you can go complete opposite. My favorite song of all time is Drift Away by Dobie Gray. I can listen to that song a million trillion times, never get tired of it, never want to change it. It shocks people that I love that song that much.
Now, I think most people are shocked when they associate a sound with somebody, but they don't know that every single one of us listens to just a great mix of music. I mean,
yeah, I've got everything from. I've got records too. I've got a record collection as well. I've got everything from Two Live Crew to Cannibal Corpse.
You're a big vinyl guy then, or?
I buy it all. I buy it all the time. Like anytime I have extra money, or like I do actually have a goal set to buy all of a certain band's albums. I'm going to buy all the Man of War albums I can get this year, which are actually kind of expensive. I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot that I made that goal. So. But yeah, I buy records too. A few years ago, I bought a record player at a store and I started listening to albums. I bought a few albums and I started listening to them. And I thought they sounded way better than listening to it on YouTube or like CDs or anything else. And so since then, I've upgraded, bought more.
Nice. So, are you getting a bigger house for all these different things you collect now?
No, right now I'm still able to make everything fit. It's starting to kind of get hectic in this
He's
room.
still only single box in it. He's not stacked up yet. So
I'm not even stacked up yet. I mean,
he's got room to grow.
Actually, I do need to get a couple more short boxes, and I do need to take some stuff out of there and put it in some stuff over here. My Deadpool collection is definitely big enough to be in a short box now. The one I have is which one is it? It's Two Live Crew. It's like it's not the first album. It's like their third one or something.
Oh, we got the cat in the background making. Is that a he or she?
That's Quentin Catatino.
And then every time a cat gets on my boxes, I'm like, get off those boxes.
There's no point. Like, I mean, like I'm only in here every once in a while. Like, I'm not in here all the time, so they're not on them all the time. Sometimes, like when I'm not in here, the door's shut. They don't get on them. But like as far as like anything else in the house, like you can keep a cat off your table or off your counters while you're home all you want, but they're spiteful, and out of spite, well, as soon as you walk out the door and they know you're down the driveway, they're like
electrification does wonders.
So,
Well, I shut the door to where my comics are when I'm not home.
yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, they don't have free reign. Those are just really old boxes. Those are just really old. I need to replace them out.
Let's get back to comics a minute. What is your favorite all-time storyline in comics that you can keep going back to and reading, and you never tire of it?
Mm.
And you can't say Turok #1.
No, that's my answer. I do love Craven's Last Hunt. I love Hush. I did a thing earlier, or well, not earlier. Well, I think it was earlier last year where I did a thing where me and a bunch of other YouTube channels reviewed Hush. I love it. I love Craven's Last Hunt. The whole Venom storyline thing. Love it. The Kingpin Spider Slayer saga. I loved anything to do with the Spider Slayers. I thought those were the coolest little things I'd ever seen when I was younger.
Alistair Smythe.
Jonathan Hickman's Endgame. I keep reading it over and over again. I'm a fan of Scott Snyder's New 52 Batman run.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was
At
really
least the
good.
first 25 issues.
I could always recommend the first 25 issues of Spawn to anybody. The original run, I can read that over and over again.
Now for Spider-Man, because he was your favorite, who do you have a favorite Spider-Man artist?
Yeah,
Because everyone's got a favorite Spidey artist, just like everyone's got a favorite Batman artist.
my favorite Spidey artist is John Romita. John Romita, Senior.
Yeah.
Well, I really love.
You
I
have
really
chosen
love, I like Junior too.
wisely.
I like Junior too. But
Yes.
but
Senior's way
my
better
dude.
than Junior.
Senior's my dude, followed closely by Todd McFarlane. Because that was the guy when I was a kid. He was everywhere. He did Spawn, Spider-Man, did his own Spider-Man series, like the whole Image thing that happened when I was a kid.
Yeah,
So,
the only problem was they let him write it too.
yeah, McFarlane was everywhere. And it's like I've always said about, I've told people about Spawn, like the stories may not be the greatest, but the art is always top notch.
I remember being so excited for Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man, and then the first issue was like boom, boom, with drum beats. I'm like, are you going to tell a story?
To this day, I have those stupid news pages.
Yeah, I mean, Callisto was a cool looking villain and stuff, but
Yeah.
now who's your favorite Spidey villain besides the Spider Slayers? Like actual villain, like
It has changed over the years. I would say, for the moment, my favorite, the one I like reading about the most now, is probably Hobgoblin. I'm really digging some Hobgoblin. I'm also digging Craven. I like Morbius too. I love Morbius as a villain. and an
Morbius is
anti-villain.
great. I used to like the Doppelganger too, the Goblin Doppelganger. What was that? I can't remember what it was called, but it was cool. Huh?
You're talking about Demo Goblin?
Yes, Demogoblin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I just thought he had a
that
great
whole-
design with the fangs.
That whole thing where it's
Too
like,
many
you got the
goblins.
Green Goblin and then Hobgoblin, and then I mean it's just stretched out so long. But for some reason I really like the Hobgoblin the best.
Graphic Man, no love for Mindworm.
No, none whatsoever.
Come on.
I like Rocket Racer better than
Doc
everybody
Ock.
else. I have a guilt. Well, like a very, to me, underrated villain that I love is Molten Man. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves as being a great villain. All his stories were really good. I'm a huge fan of Molten Man.
What's that cover, Rob? 28?
It's 28, like 28 or 26.
I keep,
whatever
keep,
it
keep
is.
hearing him say "Mullet Man" is what I keep hearing.
Molten
I don't-
Man.
Molten Man.
I know what he's saying, but I keep hearing "Mullet
A
Man."
man made
some-
of molt.
I see. For me, my underrated one is always Hammerhead.
Hammerhead.
Oh,
was
yeah.
good.
Tombstone too.
Yeah,
Actually, Tombstone books are starting to heat up because there's some kind of thing. Apparently, he's going to be in a movie or something. I don't know. People are
They're all
speculating
going to be in a
he's
movie.
about to be in a thing. So everybody's buying Tombstone stuff now for ridiculous prices. I was like,
I
for
mean-
real, y'all?
Eventually, we'll get Paste Pot Pete, whether we like it or not.
Tombstone was a staple of the spectacular Spider-Man runs.
All you can do is hope and keep passing that petition around. We'll get him eventually.
Right now,
I'll just give him a list of what's in my collection and tell him those are what you need to put in the movies.
right?
Help me out.
Let me retire early.
Now, are you a big indie reader now too? Because the knees have been so hot lately. and
Yeah,
there's been such great
actually, I've been
stories.
reading lots of underground indie stuff. I've been finding stuff for companies like since I get my stuff through the mail. There's like a huge selection. It's basically like an online store, and then I just put my order in, and then they send it to me. But like I'm finding all kinds of like small indie stuff. There's a book out right now called Deviltry. I've been actually really enjoying that. It's like a horror-based book. It's pretty crazy. Ice Cream Man. I love Ice Cream Man. Every issue of it I've read so far, I've liked. I'm starting to read a lot of indie stuff. It's starting to be where my indies are more of my pull list than Marvel or DC. What's up, Raging?
I see. Yeah, we're getting some good filters in. All right, so I want to go. We never kept going on the stand up. So you didn't have butterflies. You weren't nervous at all getting up in that stage to tell jokes for the first time.
I've been making an ass of myself since I was a young child, so I'm kind of used to it by now. If I bomb, I bomb. I expect it. Like anything, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. But no, I wasn't nervous about getting up there. I was nervous at first until the first time I got a laugh, and then once I got a laugh, I got way less nervous. And then the second time somebody laughed, I got less nervous. And it's really funny. Like I enjoyed more times where I made one person laugh, or like 2 or 3 people laugh, than if I made everybody laugh at once, because it was like a select group was getting
Right?
it.
It was like a connection.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
just
Gary-
like they get it. They know what I'm talking
Now,
about.
how would you describe your humor? Like what genre kind of humor do you do?
Hey, Gary, before
I
he
started playing around with it because I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm doing a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm doing a lot of rant stuff. I like the angry rant, kind of Kinnison, but not as screamy. There's a guy named Chris Porter. If you've ever seen Chris Porter live, there's a lot of aggression in it. It's kind of I would say Kinnison, kind of some kind of Hicks, kind of Bill Hicks kind of thing. So yeah, I've been doing that route with it. But then at the same time, a lot of times it's just a lot of sarcastic stuff, like lots of sarcasm. I love sarcasm. Sarcasm is my first language. English is my second.
Hey, Gary. Okay, so the name of the show is called The Hot Seat.
Right?
All right. Do we put this guy on the spot and have him do a solid minute for us of stand-up to hear what it's like?
No, I can't do a solid minute.
What? I think that's a great idea, Nick.
All right, so maybe just hit us with the jokes that made people laugh.
Okay, I'll use this one. So I work with this kid who's like 20 years old, right? And you can tell he's 20 years old because he doesn't have a whole lot of life experience. But the greatest thing that he ever told me was that when he was a teenager in high school, his job when he got off school was pull up the driveway, go across the street, get the mail, bring it up to the house. So he walks across the street to the mailbox. He's standing there, and he gets the mail out. He looks both ways, and he sees a car coming. And he's like, I'll let the car pass. And so he's standing there, and he noticed the car starts veering towards the side of the road. And I was like, please tell me you moved. And he was like, I was just kind of like, he's moving to this side of the road. I wonder why. And he just stood there. And this guy rolled down his window and stuck his hand out the window and slapped him Like drive-by slapped him and drove off and just kept going. Just never slowed down. Slapped him so hard I almost knocked him unconscious. Like he saw stars. He didn't know which way he was up for a minute. Threw the mail, went in the air. And then like after a minute of being like, oh my God, what happened? Like he stumbled over, got in his car, and he drove off.
To me, the idea of drive-by slappings are hilarious.
Drive-by slapping. Someone saw this opportunity and could not help themselves. They had to just be like, I have to do this. He's just standing there, just all unassuming.
All right. Question right here. And this is for every one of you on the panel. You get the lead, Tylox. If you could drive-by slap any one of your buddies on YouTube, who are you going to drive by slap?
Oh my God. If I could
like they can't avoid it. They're getting slapped no matter what.
It's not. And the best part is my brain's not going through who do I not mind slapping. It's who's going to give me the best reaction from the slap. That's who it is. Because I'm kind of thinking Roscoe. You got with Roscoe, I'm pretty sure he would sell the crap out of the slap. Maybe TM Nerdy. Team Nerdy would probably sell it pretty good. He's been on the hunt a lot, like so is Roscoe. So they're wrestling fans. They probably
right.
sell it pretty
Plus,
well.
he would have Canadian sound effects going down.
Yeah, he'd like hit the ground and say, well, "What the frick, eh?"
He probably apologized to you.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know
right.
what they're saying.
Sorry, my face got in front of your hand, eh? All right, Rob, who would you drive by slap?
Oh, there's only one answer, and he sucks.
I was about to say,
Tyler.
I knew it. There's only one answer.
What did I do?
I did
It's
not
gonna get the
hear
ultimate.
Rob have his hand out. No, Pokemon!
To put Gary on the spotlight, Gary, one of the greatest things that I've seen since I've been back on YouTube, one of the greatest things, something that made me laugh harder than just about anything, was when you did your little skit for Whack Comics. Was it 1,000 subscriber or whatever? And you were like, Tyler effing sucks. Dude,
What?
Oh my God, you being mean I was laughing so hard. Like I was in
Tyler and I had a lot of fun with that. He gave me a script. He says, do this, send me the video, and trust me. I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll do it. I know it's gonna be crazy. I'll just wait to see what happens. Nick, who would you
hold on.
Who would you
I
drive
mean,
by
you gotta
slap?
imagine. You gotta get the whole vision of mine, though. You gotta have Tyler. He's sitting on the road with that thumb out and that smile, and you're just gonna come by and you're just gonna drive by slap, and he's just gonna spin around. What did I do?
While he's holding his polka slabs and dropping them all over the road.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like
Maybe
slap
then
go flying.
put it in reverse and rolling back up over that Charizard until he squirtles all over himself.
That was also one of my favorite things that I've seen on YouTube since I've been back, was when he went on Slab Hub and started holding up Pokemon slabs.
And he sold it too. He kept that going the whole show. All right, Nick, who would you drive by slap, sir?
I wouldn't even drive. All right. I'd calmly walk into upstate New York, go to number 666,
I'm getting slapped.
ring that doorbell, and slap the shit out of Gary B.
Man, right now I'm just thinking about the cast.
Because everybody loves him so much. I would just slap the seat because he blocks me with every comment he highlights. I would slap the.
You would have to videotape it too, Nick.
I mean, what did the 5 hands say to the face? Slap.
Oh,
See, I was expecting a Mark to get that for his.
I can already see the 9.5 fingers on my face.
See, that's why I was slap. That's
Slap Hub.
Right.
Slab Hub.
Oh.
You know, I hope people don't start typing all these hubs into like search engines, because you're gonna.
For me, I would drive down to Kentucky and I'd slap Jimmy in the middle of a cornfield while he's tipping a cow.
He wouldn't be home.
You could slap him with a soccer cord.
You know, he'd be in a soccer game probably.
Right. it'd have to be in a field with a cow though, because I want the whole hillbilly.
You just have to know where his still's at.
Through the field.
If you can find his still,
Jimmy.
you go camp out at his still, and then you slap him out. Come out of nowhere when he's checking the mash, and you're.
I think this is gonna have to be a regular question on this show now. Who do you drive by slap?
Who would you drive by slap?
Right. Oh, good. All right. Let's reverse it now. Tylox, who would you not want to get slapped by on YouTube?
Oh God. Who could slap really hard on YouTube? I mean, there's some bigger. Let's see. Was it Breakout News Daily? I think he's newer to YouTube, but he's been on Spintex a few times with us. He's a pretty big dude. We want him to slap me. Tyler is actually really huge. Either that or everybody else is really short. That went to that.
He has a little bit of height to him.
So he's probably a pretty big dude. Probably wouldn't want to get slapped by him. That'd be pretty much it. I mean, really anybody. I would hate to get slapped.
You just want to
think about it. Would I want anyone to slap me? No, not really. Who would I want to slap me? Or who wouldn't I want to slap me? So yeah, anybody who's like, got some stature to them.
There we go. Now who would Biggie Shaq want to slap on YouTube?
It's probably the same guy. Same guy's Rock.
Right.
See, now I tell you who I don't want to get slapped by. I would not want to get slapped by Pocan Joe, because that motherfucker's going to have like some kind of like shit up his sleeve that's going to fucking come out spring-loaded freaking metal
like
gauntlet or something.
Be like this metal greave.
Yeah, don't trust him. That motherfucker's evil.
Oh, Tylox is bringing the bars tomorrow against the immortal Biggie Shaq.
Yep. 1v1.
Oh, here we go. Taylor will slap you for $5 if he can put it on his OnlyFans.
Oh my God.
Well, what he's going to slap you with, that's a different question.
Oh my God.
Right.
Everybody says.
Let's get back to comics. Who would you like to see that a C-list character get revived by either company that you've always loved and you'd like to see them get their A-list upgrade?
A-list upgrade. Let's see, who do I like who's C-list? No.
So, beef it. Someone's gonna get slapped with a subpoena.
We can't say those things on here. Who's C-list that I like? Would Molten Man be C-list?
I would think he's a C-list villain for sure. You like to see him be an A-list villain?
Let's see. There's got to be some Batman villains. The ventriloquist Batman villain. Scarface, I think his name was.
Yep.
Yeah, in the animated series. Yeah, I'd love to see a run in the comics with him, because I think he was in like the animated Adventures comics, but I don't think he's ever been in the main.
Oh yeah, he has.
Has he?
Yeah, because he's on the cover when Renee Montoya becomes the Question.
Okay.
He's on the cover.
Who else would I like? Who's C-list? That'd be pretty much it. That's the only thing. The Molten Man.
Well, that's okay. If that's your answer, it's a good answer. And it's nice that you don't pick something that everybody else knows, Now, are you an avid watcher of the movies and TV shows too? Are you big into the Warner Brothers shows and
whatever?
MCU?
Yeah. Whenever I get time or if I have extra money, especially if it's on Amazon Prime, I get Amazon Prime subscription every year. So if it's on there, I can watch it. Yeah. I haven't seen the Batman movie yet. I need to see it. I saw Spider-Man. That was great.
It was. I got to see Batman still too. I went to go see it, but my car broke that day.
Spoiler. It's got
Moon Knight,
a guy in it.
Moon Knight's coming out soon. Moon Knight's coming out soon. Next time I get paid, I'm gonna get Disney Plus for a year so I can binge watch everything that's on there. So I get to pick back. I got to watch Loki. I haven't watched Loki.
What?
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Have you watched Titans?
I haven't. No. So anything that's on Disney Plus, I pretty much missed out on it.
No Peacemaker either, then, huh?
No, I've not watched Peacemaker either. So like, yeah, it's and it's really funny because people are like, it's gonna get spoiled. You have no idea how many people don't talk to me. Like people don't talk to me, so nobody spoils anything for me. Like,
you've just been that busy working on that stand-up routine, huh?
Yeah.
Now, what made you start your YouTube channel?
Originally, I started an account just to watch other YouTube channels to learn about comics, and then I started, getting a pull list, and I was like, well, there are people who are putting up their pull list every week. I'm going to start doing the same thing. So I started doing the same thing. Every time I would go get my pull list, I'd come home, shoot a video on my laptop with my camera in it, and like upload it to YouTube, and it would take like an hour and a half. So yeah, it literally just started as just wanting to learn about stuff and then show my stuff off too, and be like, hey, I got this, and hey, I got that. Does anybody know what this is? That was a lot of my videos were like, what is this? I bought it. It's got Spider-Man in it. What is this? This is not like.
Now, do you have anyone in your real life? Because a lot of people only don't have someone that they can talk the hobby with in their real life. Do you have a lot of comic friends around you?
Yeah, well, Southpaw Brad lives like an hour and a half away from me. We hang out. We go digging comic books from time to time. We call each other time to time. We talk comic books to each other because it's something we're both into. Let's see, and I have a few friends here and there who have collections. Like it's stuff they bought and collected over the years that they just never got rid of, or that they continue to buy. Like a lot of young people I know literally just go to comic book stores and they'll buy the most random. They'll dig and just buy the most random stuff where it's just like, oh, you're a Punisher fan? Oh, is that who that is? That's who that is. I just thought the skull thing looked cool, so I was gonna read this and see how it went. I'm like, okay.
Well, hey, skulls do sell. But so let's talk about your YouTube journey so far, because now you show up on a lot of things, right? You show up on Spine Tex, and so how's that been for you, getting to know all these extra people in the community and becoming parts of their shows and that whole thing?
Oh, it's one of my goals this year for my YouTube channel wasn't really anything to do with my channel. It was to be on like everybody else's channel, on the stuff that they do, like on this show, or Epic Rap Battle with DJ Links, or whatever everybody's thing is. I want to participate in it. That way I get to hang out with everybody, make new friends, stuff like that. I mean, it's really nothing's it's changed. It's just me wanting to go out and do other people's stuff, because I mean most of my stuff is just haul videos and reviews, and everybody does that. And then I have like the interview thing with musicians that I've started doing, and then there's Spine Tex, and that's pretty much my whole channel. Like,
well, the Spine Tex takes up like 46 hours a week anyway. So
yeah.
Right.
We've been cutting back. We've been cutting back.
There you go. Sis said he jumped you in the Spine Tex by slapping you.
Yep. On the butt too.
Yep. So I guess the real question
you just need to get a whole bunch of slabs then.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
I was saying you just need to get a whole bunch of slabs if you're going to ever show up on my channel.
Yeah, I even asked you. I was like, how many do I have to have? And you said at least 5. I was like, all right, I need to work.
No, more than that.
I was like, well, he gave me a minimum amount, so okay, I guess I can get 5 done.
We also take slabs of beef also.
Slabs of ribs. That's the other one.
Right, and you got to start getting some slab boxes back there. That's a whole nother box.
Oh my god!
And they populate just as quick as the other boxes do.
Faster. Well, they come in spurts.
They do.
They can take a year or so to get there, but
you know, your CGC books, it takes a year for them to come back. Or have they gotten better? I've heard they've gotten better.
It depends on whether you're having them pressed by them or not. So that's the thing. If you're adding pressing, the CGCs I think out to a year and a half or something like that, and CBCS is like a year and a quarter or something like that.
And
so
the funny
it's something
thing
I've
is, I
seen.
found out cards are the same way, because if you send stuff to PSA to get graded, it's basically a year before you get it back.
Yeah, it's
so
not
cards are the exact. It's fun to see that there are so many similarities between cards and comics as far as the community and the stuff that, like, you know, wait times, and you know, there are some people that just want the 10s or the 9.8s.
So you have dipped your toe in the slabs, though?
No, every slab I've ever owned has been unslabbed by me. The only slabs I've ever bought were slabs that were already cracked anyway, and you had to send them in and get reholdered. And so I would get them on the cheap, and then I would just finish what somebody else had already started.
Now, would you ever slab books?
I mean, yeah, there are some books, like I said on my last haul video, some of the books that I'm getting coming up on my pull are like, they're doing a facsimile version of ASM1 and a facsimile version of the Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. So if I ever get those books, now I feel like I can get them because I've already got like facsimiles or like, you know, a reader copy that I can read. So if I want something I can get, you know, because for me, it seems that slabbing is an investment. Anyway, any way you break it down to why you like to do it, it seems like it always comes back to the fact of it's an investment. So I would rather have something that I can read that's beat that I paid way less than, you know, a slab book for. But then, yeah, if I ever get a slab book, you know, I could have another one to read. So
Lefty wants to know if you would ever slap a
book.
book.
My collection, I'm about to send off. I think I've got about 5 or 10 that I'm going to send off to get slabbed, but I'm going to send them to what's the one near you?
Yes.
Yes.
Just make sure you get them pressed somewhere else.
Yeah, press them before you send them.
It's 50 weeks wait time for pressing right now, unless you expedite it and stuff. So that's a year right there, and then another 25 weeks on top of that for grading. So definitely go to an external presser first.
So
yeah, I have a Transformers 1 I'd like to get slabbed.
Yeah.
I got a few. My Amazing Spider-Man 252, I might as well get it slabbed.
Yeah. Those are worthy books.
Now, in comics, Tyler, are there any storylines? Are there any characters you think that they're running into the ground that they're just ruining right now? Some people seem to think that about the new Venom run.
Well, I currently haven't been reading the Venom runs, so I couldn't say anything. And last I heard, everybody was enjoying it. So apparently
that was the last volume.
Okay, last volume. This volume, apparently people are not liking it so much. To me, the thing they just did with Spider-Man with Ben Reilly, I don't like Ben Reilly. I don't like half-ass Spider-Man.
Good man.
So like that whole, like I have pulled Amazing Spider-Man since I've started collecting comics. Ever since I've read Dan Slott that wasn't so great. I've read, you know, anything. I've had all kinds of stuff. Everything I've ever read Ben Reilly, I just don't like it. I didn't like the 90s stuff that came out. I don't like it now. I didn't like it when I was a kid and I read it. And like literally I just dropped it off my pull. Now I'm getting it back on my pull because John Romita Jr. is doing the art for it. And I think
Peter's back.
I think Peter's back because they're starting back over from #1 again.
Surprise.
So I think Peter's back. And I think they said they might possibly be doing away with Peter Parker for a while.
No, he's come back
We'll
strong.
see.
Issue 1, they'll relaunch him. Because the best thing that's been going on right now with it really for Ben Reilly has only been the fact that when they took in his memory, chopped the holes in his memory right now, is being able to take the idea of what happens to Spider-Man if you take away the memory of his Uncle Ben telling him about great power comes great responsibility thing, without doing that to Peter directly, right? And seeing the change, and by having the two of them going active right now, kind of contrast of what becomes of them. But still, I agree. Clones are a horrible, horrible disease in the Marvel
they did
universe.
it in the 70s, nobody liked it. They did it in the 80s, nobody liked it. They did it in the 90s, nobody liked it.
Marvel and DC have just both at times used clones as such a crutch. That and freaking scrolls. I'm so tired of clones and scrolls.
Just clone scrolls.
Well, see, that's like a lot of people I know didn't like the end of the New 52 Batman, and I loved it because it wasn't a clone, and it wasn't like it was
you liked Mech Warrior.
I'm a huge Dick Grayson fan anyway, so for me, the fact that he was Batman the whole time just made it even better. So
New 52,
yeah.
New 52 brought you Mech Warrior Gordon.
Fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Well, besides the Mech Warrior, oh my god! How long did that last?
Like 20 issues.
Was it 20 issues?
And then it crossed over into Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Yes.
So is Dick Grayson your favorite Robin then, Tyler?
Yes, hands down. He's always been my favorite because I think it's just because when I was a kid, that was Robin. That was like the only Robin you knew. Like even when you watched reruns of Batman '66, it was Dick Grayson. That's who Robin was. And to me, the character itself he's done so much. He's a lawyer now. He just became a lawyer. He's been a secret agent. He's been Robin. He's been Nightwing. He's worked in groups. He's worked by himself. He's literally, he's had tons of money. He's given tons of money away. He's literally lived like a life, like you see, like his life grow as it goes. Like they just keep reinventing the character, and it's just all stuff that it's just like, you know what? At this point, it's believable. Why not? Can you be a billionaire or a millionaire, secret agent, lawyer, crime fighter?
See, now I'm really surprised you haven't watched Titans, seeing he's the main character.
Yeah, I miss lots of TV. TV for me, I can take it or leave. Between watching YouTube videos and reading comics and playing video games, movies are better for me because I can watch them and it's like an hour and a half and it's done. I don't have to binge watch seasons.
Right. Now, did you like Dick Grayson better as Robin or better as Nightwing?
Now as Nightwing. When I was younger, I would have said Robin, but that's because I hadn't read a whole lot of Nightwing.
Was it because Nightwing had a mullet?
What was that? Who did that? Was it Chuck Dixon?
I think so.
Who is the artist on that?
Right. So who's your favorite Robin artist then?
Redondo now is doing a really good job. Jamal Campbell's doing the covers here and there now. Like one of the variant covers that comes out for every issue is one of his. I don't think he does any interiors though, but his Nightwing, I would love to see him do a whole book of interiors because I think I really like the way he draws Nightwing. George Perez, but for both, because he's drawn both at points in time. But his Robin's really good. I really like George Perez's Robin. That's about it as far as favorites that I have. I mean, there was the whole '90s run where it was all kinds of people in and off that book.
Right, so I'm going to throw it over to Rob because I want you to answer to Rob's question here.
All right. I assume you want the usual question, Gary, not some random other question. So
I do. The usual question. Well, we're going to make
the usual question from the usual suspects.
Oh, wait. I know this question. Yeah, go for it.
All right. So Marvel and DC have nothing better to do but spend time searching the internet here for ideas because they've used up all the other ideas, obviously. And they stumble across your content and found, who is this mad molted man? He seems to have some ideas. We should sync up with this guy. And they both come knocking on your door at the same time and both offer you an exclusive contract to take one of their characters and be the idea man behind it. You can only pick one of those franchises or one of those companies. So which company and what character or franchise do you pick to take in the Tylox the Mighty direction? And what kind of plans would you have in store for them?
Besides giving them a mullet.
Yeah, the first thing I would do, because I mean, for me right now, like Batman's usually just hit or miss, but it's Batman. I mean, you kind of know what you're getting going into that book, and it usually ends up going on certain paths and going through cycles and stuff like that. Some of it, so really can't mess that. Flash, I've liked a lot of Flash that I've read, so really wouldn't mess with anything from DC. I don't think, because that's pretty much Swamp Thing too. You really can't mess up Swamp Thing too bad. You can try. So it would probably be Marvel. I know, because as much as I would love to say like a lot of other people that I've seen on here, and I know Rob's waiting for me to say to get rid of Ben Reilly and make Peter Parker Spider-Man, or I could say stuff like, quit renumbering everything. But I'm gonna go with one from Marvel. This whole whiny emo Thor thing has got to stop. I'm tired of reading Thor, God of Thunder, Thor, King Thor, just like all these issues of him being like, why can't I hold the hammer? Why are these bad things happening to me? And I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, dude, oh my God, stop it. Like he's a god. Okay. Like it's something that started when I first started reading comics, because I noticed that my older issues of Thor that I have is usually just him fighting things, and then maybe it beats him and then he overcomes it later, but more than likely he's just smashing things. And those are great. And then around when I started reading, it became this thing where he was like questioning himself all the time. And I leave comics and I don't buy new comics for a while, and then I come back and I start reading them again, and it's still happening. It's literally been like a 7-year break, and it's still happening. Like, has he not figured out how this whole hammer thing works?
So Tylox the Mighty
since the 70s.
Yeah, so Tylox the Mighty is going to take on the Mighty Thor.
The Mighty Thor. It's too great. It's too great to pass up. And plus, I can finally ride him for the first time in like 7 to 10 years, where he's not like, why me?
But here's the real question: would Thor get a mullet?
Yes. First thing is he's getting a mullet. Because he's had mullets before, and I think we all agree that mulleted Thor is the best. Second off, he's going back to the old school costume, the yellow, fucking yellow knee pads, like the old school
Walt Simonson costume.
Yes, like Walt Simonson. I'll even approve the helmeted where he had the whole face. I'll even go with that. Like I like that Thor too. I think they're bringing that back for a little while.
And Thor is like Iron Man. He works best when he's a little bit of an ass and full of himself.
Yes, and it works out so much better that way. And like he's now they're doing a thing where he's a king, and he's figuring out that maybe he doesn't need the hammer. Maybe somebody else needs it. And give it to somebody else and shut up. Pick up a sword or a rock or a stick or whatever you want to tote around with you being a king.
But if he didn't have a hammer, how would he hammer in the morning?
And I think Roy Thomas said it best back in the day. It's tough to write somebody that's a king, because you immediately limit them and confine them to one place. And it's hard to come up with reasons why they should leave that when that's supposed to be their main responsibility. That are legitimate reasons for them to leave their throne.
The direction I would take the book is, because they're toying with that idea now, I would just give the hammer to Beta Ray Bill and let him be Thor, as in like weapon of Asgard, and then just let Thor be king. And you can do a book where they're both around each other all the time anyway, in and out. I mean, so you can do so much with that. I'm a huge fan of Beta Ray Bill too. So
You become the hammer of justice.
yeah.
Well, I mean, they keep breaking all the hammers. Beta Ray Bill's hammer got broke. Now they broke Thor's hammer. They all need new hammers. A guy can't even have a hammer anymore.
It's subliminal. It really is. It's subliminal. Men with big hammers are bad. Look.
Right? We're just now getting the message, Tylox.
It is my time to shine. You hear me?
There you go. You got your next stand-up bit about gods and hammers.
Oh my God.
Maybe they've got a Harbor Freight. He can just go get some.
So
what's Chinese hammers?
What's the next thing that you want to tackle? Is
maybe it's time for a mallet. He'd get the mullet with a mallet.
There's no telling.
That'd be great. Thor, the mullet with a mallet.
Oh my God, the mallet mullet.
Oh, Balder, yeah.
Balder, yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's so many different things you can do with it besides just woe is me. I don't know how to do this king thing. Then give it to somebody else and shut up. Like.
Well, I think we'll probably see Donny Cates exit that series soon too. I think he wants to get to that landmark 750 issue because he likes hitting all those landmark issues, and then he kind of tires of a run and skips over to something else.
Which is weird because I heard his Hulk run that he did was really good. Like, people said there was like a lull, but that's because it was a 50-issue run, but it ended strongly. It started strongly, kind of sagged in the middle. I mean, it happens. But I heard everybody talk really positively about it once it ended.
So you've done live music. You've done stand-up comedy. Is there anything else that you have on your to tackle list?
I mean, I just keep. To be honest, it's literally, I think, just because I'm like, I have free time because single guy, live by myself. I have free time. Anytime I just take a fancy to want to start doing something, I just do it. Like, I mean, so it could be anything. Like, I mean, anything that I find next that's a hobby that I like, I'm just probably going to start doing it. Like, I mean, it's scary because as an adult, there's no one to tell you no except your bills. So,
you ever thought about
that's the way I would encourage everyone to live your life. Just make sure your bills are paid, and then piss away everything else. Just buy baseball cards and comic books. And
circling back around, then what are your thoughts about trying to become the next Human Torch? Stand on your roof, say flame on, and light yourself on fire and jump off. See what happens.
I mean, if that's what you want to do with your life, I say I fully support you. Jump. I will be there on the ground to cheer you off the roof. Do it. You're such a liar, such a wuss. You said you were going to do it, and you're not going to do it.
Just don't be where he's landing, Tylox.
I'm not going to catch you. Don't jump towards me, but jump. One of my favorite concert going moments ever was when I saw Cannibal Corpse live. Somebody brought their like 3 or 4-year-old to a Cannibal Corpse show, and one of the songs ended. The dude literally went from screaming to pointing out to the crowd, and he was like, "There is a fucking baby right there. There's a small child. Somebody brought their small child to this show, and he's wearing one of our T-shirts. That is the most adorable thing I've ever seen." Like, I went. At that same show, it was the end of the tour, and one of the roadies, it was his birthday, and he was a little inebriated. And he came running out on stage in a cowboy hat, a cape, and an American flag Speedo. He dove into the crowd, and everybody was like, "Whoa!" and just got out of the way and let him smack the ground. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen because I've never seen a human being hit the ground so hard that he bounced. That guy bounced. And he was like on the ground like, "Dude," and we're like, "You were naked. What did you expect to happen?"
Right.
I've seen some good ones. That ranks up there, but
like there are rules. Like, one of them is don't be naked when you do it. People will drop you.
or not touch you. Watch the lead singer of Great White explode his nose on his microphone trying to headbang and didn't move the microphone and his nose just exploded. That was good times.
Right? Oh, goodness. So we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. We'll start wrapping this up. Tylox, what have you got coming up on your channel, sir?
Well, tomorrow I will be on DJ Lynx's channel on Epic Rap Battle. I will be going versus up against Biggie Shack. So everybody tune in for that because that's going to be interesting. I don't know how this is going to go. I listen to rap music, but I do not count myself a rapper. But considering the fact that I've wrote lyrics that rhymed, does that make me a rapper? I don't know. So we're going to find out. Next Tuesday, I'm going to be on Comic Bookworm's channel. Me and him are going to have a record off. And we are going to be going up against each other, showing records that we think we're supposed to show examples of record covers that we have that would be good comic covers as well. And I think that's going to be pretty interesting.
Nice.
Let's see. This Saturday, Next Saturday, I will be on Spine Ticks. Every other week, I'm on Sith's PSA Tendencies card channel, opening up packs of cards. And that's pretty much it. I have haul videos coming up, review videos. I'm doing a review video tomorrow. I'm going live and doing it tomorrow in the afternoon. Hopefully catch everybody. And that's about it. Just putting out content. Next month, I have another episode of Tunes and Collections where I interview a musician and trying to lock in the guest for this month. I think I pretty much got it locked in. So I'll save on announcing that until I've got 100% on that. But it should be a great episode because he's going to show his vinyl collection. And that's close to 700 records, and he's going to cherry pick out of those. So
I'd hate that to tone that down to like a top 10. That's got to be rough. Rob, what's coming up for you, bud?
Oh, well, I generally just open some boxes and show a few books here and there. They're just, they're just everyday books that people pick up all the time. And, Saturday. Yeah, we kind of have a show on Saturday. It's kind of a big deal. Slab Hub, we have Mike Becker of Becker Likes Comics. You might know him on YouTube as Beckerman. He will be joining us. He'll be our guest this week on Slab Hub. Yeah, that's the big one. Next week will be another episode of Man Cave.
Nice. So just to clarify, Slab Hub, not Slap Hub. Right?
That's right. Yeah, but you could slap somebody with a slab.
We should do it to where it's like a traveling little segment that goes from channel to channel of different channels slapping each other.
Right. Or we all just meet and go slap Tyler.
Oh my God.
Or everyone on YouTube goes down to slap Tyler.
It could happen.
All right, Nick, what's coming up for you, sir?
Hey, so tomorrow I am getting back my final submission from 2021 CGC. 25 book submission, and that will close up. I currently have no more books out of that grading company.
Wow.
When did you submit those?
May.
Oh, because my April submission is still lost in translation there.
Early May with correcting. So I'm feeling kind of lucky that's under the year.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Legion Comics. I do have some $240 shipped mystery boxes out now. I believe there are 10 or 11 left. So if you want to check them out, give a look over on my Instagram. And Thursdays, Two Nerd Dads with Nacho Ignacio Demetrio. We just talk about good stuff in the community and invite you guys to come out. And that's it.
Nice. Yeah, you always have it while I'm working. I get the notification while I'm at work, and I'm always like, oh.
I feel your pain. I watch. There's so much stuff that either happens while I'm asleep or I'm at work.
Yeah.
And on my channel, we got a Savage Saturday comic review coming up this Saturday, of course. Tuesday, we have Freaky Willie on the 1011. I'm Freaky Louie.
Freaky Willie. I was like, wait a minute, there's two
Wait
of
a
them?
minute, that's his son.
His name's Freaky Willie.
We already saw that
Freaky
episode,
Louie
Gary.
is on
Let's
the
keep him off
1011.
YouTube.
Please tell me Louie's in the chat.
This is what
I'm
happens
messaging
when
him
you've
right
had a
now.
cold all week.
I'm messaging him right now.
So that'll be fun. And lots of good stuff coming up. But I want to thank the chat for coming out. You guys were great tonight. Super active. Super fun show. Tylox, Tyler, I want to thank you for coming on and being a guest,
No
buddy. It was
problem.
a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I did.
Nice.
It was a real honor. I was like, I messaged you and I was like, dude, I got to be on your thing. I gotta be on your thing.
Whoa. Take it easy.
Yeah, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Hey now.
He doesn't have enough money for that. But yeah, I mean, another show where like an hour and 15 minutes went by like nothing. But guys, thank you to my co-host, thank you to Tyler, excellent show, and as we like to end this, guys, awkward ending.